Today we're going to look at Magic the Gathering cards that were built best for multiplayer. You see, this is exactly the game that Richard Garfield intended. It was supposed to be multiple people. There could be 10 people at a table all playing with each other. The cards originally designed said each opponent, meaning more than one. Okay, we're going to start off with Insanguinate. See, this card, one-on-one, would probably suck. Double black and an X. Each opponent loses X life, you gain life equal to the life lost this way. However, if it's multiple people at the table, you're going to gain a bazillion life. And you know what it reminds me of? Oh, it reminds me of Extort. I love Extort. Not many people know this, but I had a, sort of a casual Extort deck up my sleeve. There was I was invited to this home game of players. They just played 10-way Magic, and I'm like, how do I best exploit 10 people at the table at once? So I know, Extort! I was a huge target, massive target. They didn't like blind obedience. I was also very unhappy with that crypt card. I think there's one that adds a bunch of mana, and it extorts, and it screwed me. And one my friend loves to play is Earthquake in combination with Torbrand. Pay a red and an X. Earthquake deals X damage to each creature without flying. Means it don't hit them dragons. Do I have a dragon sound effect? No, I got nothing. Sorry, I got nothing. I thought I had a drag. I thought I had a roar sound or something. This is the best I got. The sound of a dragon. Each creature without flying and each player. So if you have Torbrand out, if you deal 5 damage to everyone, they take double the damage. You're gonna take 10 damage now from that damn Earthquake. And it's broken. Only in multiplayer, people. Only in multiplayer. Where's Nikachu? Not here. He's not here every single day. Alright, Toads with some obvious cards. Cyclonic Rift. This, this is a pretty good card one-on-one. I mean, the Tron decks play this. Maybe the casual players don't know this. This is also a semi-competitive card. Blue 1 generic, return target non-land permanent to its, you don't control to its owner's hand. You overload and bounce it all back to their hand. Quite disgusting. Furious gamer with debt to the debtless. We got a black, white, X. Sorcery. Each opponent loses 2 times X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. This is like Exsanguinate. Was it Exsanguinate? Does anyone actually win with these cards? Your opponents have a lot of life. I mean, they literally have 40 life to spare. Who cares? I guess if someone's chipping other people away, you don't play this early game. You gotta play this late game when people are really close to death. And it's who's gonna win? We gotta be careful. Everyone's on defense. All of a sudden, you've debt to the deathless. And then everyone's dead. They go down in one shot. Alright, what do we got here? How is Omniscience good in multiplayer? Omniscience. You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. I don't feel like this is really a multiplayer card. It's not multiplayer centric. I don't think they had this card multiplayer in mind. This is just gonna be a drain and gain show, isn't it? Gray Merchant is my favorite call in multiplayer. It gets you stupid amounts of life. The Gray Gary! Bring on Gary onto the show. Welcome, Gary. What's your favorite thing to do? I like to tax. What does this have to do with life? Since when is I don't know, taxing money is equal to your health care? This is the reverse healthcare, actually. Maybe it does make sense. They siphon your money, and then all of a sudden your health gets worse. This mechanic suddenly makes a lot of sense. Same with Extort. Gray Merchant enters the battlefield. Each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion. Oh, it's each opponent. Oh my god, that's insane. Where X is your devotion to black. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. You just throw this in any random black deck, and they're basically toast. It's over. Alright, what do we get? It is a very good example. Consecrated Sphinx. You know what's wild? This is not like a CEDH card. Everyone knows this card. This thing's broken. You play it, you pass the turn, you at least draw 2 cards from it. Maybe you're gonna draw 4. Does any CEDH deck play this thing? As far as I know, this is the best casual. This is like part of the casual Power 9, if there were a casual Power 9. Cards that are insanely good, but not like insanely good under a casual setting where no one's actually trying to kill each other. Let this sit around for long enough and they're all doomed. Alright, Evan will congregate. The super chats are rolling in. Oops, I put congregates. We got a white 3 generic instant. Target player gains 2 life for each creature on the battlefield. That will work. It will work better in multiplayer. It could work if we are one-on-one and you got like a billion tokens, that also could work. Is this card really any good? Are you seriously playing life gain in your deck? It don't even drain. This is only half of the drain and gain combo. We got Slavin with Seer. Conrad. The Grim. Black 3 generic for a 5/4 human knight. Whenever another creature dies or a creature is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, many ways of triggering this thing, Seer Conrad the Grim deals 1 damage to each opponent. You can pay a black 1 generic. Each player mills a card. What do any of these abilities have anything to do with each other? Dies or a creature is put into a... Oh, I see. A creature is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield. So you mill the cards and then you start... Pew, 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 pew. Do I have a pew sound effect? That's my pew sound effect. That's the best I got. The lasers. Seer Conrad with those laser eyes. That's why it's all blue around here. Next super chat. We got Abe. Wedding Ring is my favorite multiplayer card, because it makes the entire table have a good laugh, and it's so easy to make jokes about it. All right, we got a white 2 generic artifact. Enters the battlefield. If it was cast, target opponent creates a token that's a copy of it. So I need a wedding ring. You can need a wedding ring. Let's get married here. Whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring draws a card during their turn, you draw a card. So it's got to be equal in this marriage. Whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring gains life during their turn, you gain that much life. So basically, do you turn the table into some sort of weird 2-headed giant where everyone now needs to like attack both of you? That is an interesting dynamic. Cards that will make you the target, or make somebody the target. So you have to blow up one of them. And then what? Then the other one's useless? You blow up the wedding ring, you're divorced. Get your lawyers, people. Get the lawyers. Furious game with Tempt with the Discovery. Okay. Furious is very, very excited about this. You've hit your quota for today, Furious Gamer. You've hit your quota. You got 2 cards now. Green 3 generic sorcery. Tempting offer. Search your library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield. Each opponent may search their library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield. For each opponent who searches their library this way, search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield. Then each player who searched a library this way shuffles it. You know, this is a lot of word soup in my opinion, but I get it. So basically it's the Super Explore. So you get to search, then they search. If they search, you search again. Alright, we got Erwin with Nether Void. The hell? Whenever a player plays a spell, counter unless its controller pays 3. This can be really one-on-one. I don't really see I don't feel the multiplayer in this. Whenever a player... It could be. I mean, it could be good multiplayer. Generally is good multiplayer. Any of these stupid taxing cards are really good multiplayer, I guess. But I don't feel it. I don't feel it. Or maybe I should count it. It's like the same as Ristic Study, right? Like these are all like, okay, I'll give you Nether Void. This is so weird. This is like a very blue card. Whenever a player plays a spell, counter unless its controller pays 3. Since when the hell did they let blue bleed into black like this? And it makes some sense. I mean, you know, they're buddies. They're part of the color pie. I'm surprised there aren't more like black counter spells out there. Or white counter spells for that matter. Okay, super chats. We got Michael. Lurking Predators. So I'm looking at Michael. Don't know how many Michaels there are in this game. Okay, we got a green 4 generic enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, you may put that card on the bottom of your library. That's insane! So this plus scrying, you just basically show and tell stuff into play constantly. This is absolutely bonkers. Very casual card. I mean, it's 6 mana. So it's like, as people just play spells, you can just put stuff onto the battlefield. Why is no one... How expensive is this card? It's not even that expensive. I feel like this should be a bigger card. I guess the problem is you need to, like, stack your deck. It's still, like, free scrying. Otherwise, you can put the card on the bottom of your library. You need a land? Keep the land on top. You don't need the land? Put it on the bottom. Keep looking for stuff. Oh, next up, we got Nemesis. With the Burgeoning. Green enchantment. Whenever an opponent plays a land, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Absolutely. The first vine shows the others where to grow. And then if you're... Are these cards really that good? Just out of curiosity. Like, once you dump your hand... I mean, I guess if you have something like Life from the Loam or a way of, like, keep drawing a bunch of lands or cards that draw tons of lands, I guess this is fine. Because in my mind, like, once you've spewed your hand of lands, that's it. I mean, what else is there to do? And, yeah, artifacts just basically work better, in my opinion, work better than lands. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the artifacts are a problem these days because of, the red creature that makes treasures for all the artifacts on the battlefield. Whatever that guy is. I'm no one says F burgeoning and Gitrog. It means GG. Alright, I'm gonna trust you. Burgeoning and the Gitrog monster. Don't underestimate Giant Frog. It Frog! Okay, Placatado, Sengir the Dark Baron. The dark side of the multiverse. Black 4 generic for a 4/4 Vampire Noble. It's funny, all these cards are basically black. Flying, whenever another creature dies, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Sengir the Dark Baron. Whenever another player loses the game, you gain life equal to that player's life total as the turn began. That is such a bizarre ability. Because if your opponent dies, they probably don't have that much life left. Like, probably not. Partner, you can have 2 commanders if both have partner. Oh, yeah, okay. So you partner with something a little bit more useful. That does work. All right, it passes. Just in case it sounded... Just in case it didn't sound like I let it pass. Redco. Pramicon. Red, white, blue, 1/5 wall. Flying defender. Enters the battlefield. Choose left or right. Okay, I'm excited. That's a different type of card. Can I play this in Legacy? Like, what does this do in Legacy? All right, each player may attack only the nearest opponent in the chosen direction. And planeswalkers controlled by that opponent. Does that turn this game into, what's it called, Emperor? Sort of. Except there's no Emperor, but you do have to attack the people to your left and right. That should be a rule by default. People opposite of each other can't do crap to each other. That makes some sense. Territorially. Its colors entrance aggressors, directing their violence. I love this card. This is really cool. I didn't know Magic the Gathering went in this direction mechanically. That's a unique mechanic. Okay, Cosmic Seeds, Frozen Ether. Oh, we got Frozen Ether, blue, 3 generic enchantment. Artifacts, creatures, and lands your opponents control come into play tapped. What a boring card. You trying to slow the game down, are you? Yeah, it does work, though. It is built that way. It could be played one-on-one, though. Not super excited about it. Okay, a Blackbird, Elish Norn, Mother of Machines. Oh, get out of here. Again, is that like a multiplayer card? So if a permanent enemy of the battlefield causes... No, I'm disqualifying this thing. This really is not multiplayer-centric whatsoever. This could be played one-on-one. It's just like a regular taxing card, if anything. Look how hard you're trying to get this thing. And I disqualify it. To the gallows with this Elish Norn nonsense. Yeah, boo Norn. We don't need this crap. Alright, moving on. But if you super chatted, I'd probably be kissing Kissing you all over for this card. Did we look at this one? Pramicon? I think we did. Yeah. Okay. X Savior. Torment of Hailfire. Oh god. This is like a real... Why is this so popular? It's a black X sorcery. Repeat the following process X times. Each opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card. I guess you just wait until you have like 1,000,000 mana. You get your burgeoning out. Get your burgeoning. Get a bunch of lands in play and just torment of Hailfire the board. But you have so much life to give. Like, how many times can you take a hit from this? You can take... I guess not that many. Like, 14 times you're dead. 14 times it's over. So, X being 14, everyone dies. And you get a whole lot. Unless that permanent player... You gain nothing. Each one loses... They lose stuff. They gain absolutely nothing at all. Did anyone see that fly? Do you see it? Get out of here. You're not part of the show. TW with Gemstone Caverns turns a coin flip into your favor. Disqualified. It's that card that if it's in your opening hand, you can like exile a card from your hand and it comes to play with a luck counter on it. No, not gonna pass. Not multiplayer centric enough. Vizilling. Rackling by 76 Mag. Alright, we got a 4 mana 2/2 construct. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, Vizilling deals X damage to that player, where X is the number of cards in his or her hand minus 4. It's like the rack in some sense. That works. That's a card. Alright, well, next up we got Yo Little Ted. Elbrus. The Binding Blade. 7 mana, equip, +1/+0. When equipped creature deals combat damage to a player unattached, the Binding Blade then transform it, equip for 1. And it turns into the Withengar Unbound, Flying, Intimidate, Trample. Whenever a player loses the game, put 13 +1/+1 counters on Withengar Unbound. That absolutely passes. Because if it was a one-on-one game, this trigger... I think it triggers, but it just doesn't matter. Because you've won the game already. Seems like a pretty win-more card, in my opinion. Jess! With Pyrohemia. You get those super chats worked out, Jess? I don't think so. You're still in the freebie area. Okay, we got a red 2 generic enchantment. At the beginning of the end step, if no creatures are on the battlefield, sacrifice Pyrohemia, and it deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. So this is like, it's like red pestilence, isn't it? Isn't this just red pestilence? What's the difference? I swear this is red pestilence. If there are no creatures in play, sacrifice pestilence, deals 1 damage. Was this from Chaos? Oh, it is from Chaos. It's from Planar Chaos. My spidey sense was tingling, of course. Okay, next super chat. We've got Kyle Driver. Been a while. Haven't caught alive because of work. Oh, sorry about that. Welcome back, Kyle Driver. All right, moving on to Gyre. Prophet of Crufix. Oops. The Prophet of Crufix. Oh, that was a multiplayer card. Well, I would say that card is really broken in multiplayer. Or broken. Okay, we have blue-green 3 generic 2/3. Untap all creatures and lands you control during each other player's untap steps. Each other. All of them. You may cast creature cards as though they had flash. You can somehow draw a card. This plus Consecrated Sphinx has to be the ultimate combo, right? So not only do you get to untap your lands, untap your creatures, but you're also drawing additional cards to play over and over again. That's got to be like I think that's like the dream of the casual player. Yeah, if you want your Crufix free, you just play the Seedborn Muse. It's good enough. It's good enough. It'll work. Oh yeah, Tira braids. We should look at both braids. We're gonna look at both braids. Does anyone play with the blue braids out there? Is anyone insane? Has anyone lost their damn mind? Okay, so we'll start with the black braids. Black, black, 2, generic, 2, 2. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices an artifact, creature, or land. Yeah, it's all... the game could be over before it even gets started. All the players playing 1 land per turn, with their curve starting at 4. They can't compete with braids. It's impossible. But you know what's the counter to braids, Cabal Minion? Is Braid Conjure Adept. Please, someone tell me they play with this card. I should make a commander deck out of this. We got blue, blue, 2 generic for a 2/2 human wizard. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player may put an artifact, creature, or land card from their hand onto the battlefield. It's show and tell every turn, baby. Everyone get a show and tell. Hold on, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player. Oh, it's only that player. I wish we all got to show and tell every single turn. Still, it's the counter to the OG braids. Basically, the braids counter each other out. There we go. Alphamus Prime plays blue braids. Did you have a suggestion, Alphamus Prime? I'm gonna look for your card. Okay, we're gonna look at a tally. You see, you're making me happy. I'm gonna go back and go find your comments. That's how it's also gonna work around this show now. Itali, Primal Storm. You got 1 card though. We got a dinosaur. We got a red. You play braids and the dinosaur? What kind of combo is that? Okay, we got red, red, 4 generic, 6/6 Elder Dinosaur. Whenever Itali Primal Storm attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. Then you may cast. You see this thing? Get out of here! Okay, exile the top card of each player's library. Then you may cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying their mana costs. That's all I'll say. The storm rages and the earth breaks. Each player's library. It's basically massive card advantage. But it's 6 mana. It's like a Titan, actually. It reminds me of like something like the Titans. Like Inferno Titan, Primeval Titan has that sort of effect. But it doesn't have the ETB, I guess. So it's missing an ETB. Alright, moving on with the super chat. We've got Michael. Dockside Extortionist. That's what I was thinking about earlier. Like, burgeoning gets around Dockside Extortionist. Can I get a Yoshi's Island? Oh, yeah, I gave you the Yoshi. I didn't even try. You know what? I knew you liked motion. We had some sort of, we're on the same plane, same wavelength. I'll give you another one. Dockside Extortionist! Red 1 generic, 1/2 Goblin Pirate. When Dockside Extortionist enters the battlefield, create X treasure tokens, where X is the number of artifacts and enchantments your opponents control. Way better in multiplayer, because you have all those stupid artifacts. You gotta punish the people with them soul rings. Well, now that I think about it, like, if everyone's playing with like Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, Soul Ring, what's so broken about this card? Yeah, it's just business. You guys have your fast mana, now I have my fast mana, but mine gets depleted. It like disappears into thin air. I think it's fair. The new Itali is even worse, says JF. Okay, let's look at the new Itali. Which one's the new Itali? I guess this one? Itali is back at 7 mana. 7/11. Okay, it's a 7/7 creature for 7 mana. Trample. Enters the battlefield, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast any number of spells from among the non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana costs. So it's like a very similar... and then pay a Phyrexian green and 9 generic. Transform Italia. Activate only as a sorcery. We go from 7/7 to 11/11. Trample indestructible. Itali Primal Sickness deals combat damage to a player. They get that many poison counters. Oh god. Basically destroy people in one shot with this thing. Redco with this super. Thank you very much for the $2. Do you have something to say? Do you not super chat? I swear you super chat all the time. You know how these super chats work. If you have a suggestion, I'll look out for it. Next we have Alberto. Expropriate. Oh, this is that Council's Dilemma. Starting with you, each player votes for time or money. For each time vote, take an extra turn after this one. For each money vote, choose a permanent owned by the voter and gain control of it. Exile Expropriate. It would seem like, I'm not sure, but shouldn't you just let this be a blatant thievery? Giving them any extra turns is just stupid. And how much is Blatant Thievery? Is this just another Blatant Thievery? Blatant Thievery. Which is also good in multiplayer. For each opponent, gain control of target permanent that player controls. It's 7 mana. This is almost... Oh, this is 9 mana. Okay, 9 mana. For 9 mana, you have the chance of getting an extra few time walks, depending on how... I don't know. How broken your board is. I meant to super chat Tivit. Alright, let's get that. And thanks again for the super chat, Redco. The hell is Tivit Seller? Okay, I'm gonna look up Tivit Seller. Apparently there's a lot of Tivits out there. We have our first Esper card. Black, blue, white, 3 generic for a 6/6 Sphinxy. Flying Ward 3 counts. Another Council's Dilemma card. Whenever Tivit enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, starting with you, each player votes for evidence or bribery. For each evidence vote, investigate. For each bribery vote, create a treasure token. While voting, you may vote an additional time. Oh yeah, that's fair. Get a little one extra vote in that voting box. Get your identical twin to... Actually, that won't work. Whatever. I don't know how to cheat the system. Unlike Tivit over here. Tivit knows how to cheat the system. Ernesto! Verdant Force. Thank you, Ernesto. With the Verdant Force, green, 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 5 generic for a 7/7 elemental. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 green sapler creature token. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 green sapling creature token. This is insanely underwhelming. This card sucks. 8 mana for a 7/7 that makes a 1/1 every turn. Like, am I missing something? Is this card, like, better than it looks? I mean, okay, the more players at the table, this card gets better. So I'm thinking if it's like a 20-player game, you put 20 power on the battlefield. I mean, that's not bad. But if you have 4 people, is that those 3/3s really going to make a difference in the late game here? This is 8 mana. It was good with Overrun back in year 2000. Verdant Force was old school reanimator target. Oh, is it that old? Okay, I'm going to be more... Oh, it's very old. This thing is a geezer. Just a straight up old geezer. As you can see it in the card. Yeah, okay. Burl, Scurf, and Bower. Birth, Fern, and Flower. Very AI generated, AI generated flavor text before AI even existed. David says, don't trash the Verdant Force. It is one of the OG Timmy cards without downside. That is true. You don't have to sacrifice 4 forests or take 8 damage for it coming into play, so it's all upside, baby. It's all upside. Okay, do we have more super chats? We do. Xavier, thanks so much for your super chat. If you could cheat Portal to Phyrexia. The Portal. Okay, 9 mana, enters the battlefield. Each opponent sacks 3 creatures. You can cheat it. Indomitable creativity. Someone did that to me. Wiped out my board. I was very unhappy. I was like expecting, you know, I probably couldn't beat anything anyway, but I was expecting, was it Archon of Cruelty. At the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It's Phyrexian in addition to its other types. Oh my god! And with more graveyards, you know what? I'm gonna say this is a multiplayer-centric card because with more graveyards on the that's not what I wanted to say. With more graveyards on the battlefield, if you can animate your graveyard with like unglued cards, with more graveyards available, you have a better choice to reanimate stuff onto the battlefield. I'll give this a pass. Toads, Smithering Tithe. I'm not paying for that. You don't need to pay, because you're toads. Smothering. Oh, you're talking about that, like actually paying for the card. White 3 generic enchantment. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player may pay too. If the player doesn't, you create a treasure token. Are these bad for the game or what? I can't tell. I heard some people said this is like, is this like an actual Power 9 card for Commander, or is this like casual Power 9? I imagine it's still like a really, really good card. It's not. People never pay. It's like, I don't care. Let him have a treasure token. We're gonna let him have one treasure token. Then the next player's like, they can have one treasure token. And then it gets out of control, and they're screwed. They give one player 10 life, or sorry, 10 mana to play their Verdant Force. And then it was GG. Casual Power 9, too slow for ECDH. That's the answer I was looking for. And if you want to get all these casual Power 9 cards from Commander, you can get them at FusionGamingOnline.com. Your one-stop shop for all your multiplayer needs. Gain X life equal to all the life lost from your opponents when you're shopping from FusionGamingOnline.com. And you can support the channel using coupon code Nikachu at checkout for 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Oh my golly! Lord of the Rings has completely disrupted the old formats, really. How about Commander? Is everyone appreciating Orcish Bowmasters over there? How about the One Ring? Because it's certainly terrorizing Modern and Legacy. Oh my god, is it ever. Anyway, you can support the channel renting these cards using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_1YA. Oh god, Orcish Bowmasters. Is that a multiplayer card? Yeah, whenever an opponent draws a card. Can be any opponent. It actually gets worse. Except for the first one they draw each of their draw steps. It deals 1 damage to any target, then amass Orcs 1. What a pain. Absolute pain. Played Jumpstart yesterday, and it was pretty nice. Oh yeah, Mystic Remora. Oh yeah, Mystic Remora. I don't understand this card. Can't you just wait out the person to like... Okay, so it's a blue enchantment, cumulative upkeep 1. Whenever an opponent plays a non-creature spell... Good luck drawing cards off my merfolk. Whenever an opponent plays a non-creature spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 4 mana. Isn't the right tactic just waiting out the Mystic Remora? Like, it will go away, and then you can just play out your cards. They usually wait it out. Well, who's they? Because this card's... Actually, this card's not that expensive. I thought this card was more expensive. This card is like $5. Ah! If you want the good art, it's $18. That sucks. Am I supposed to have this in my Merfolk deck? I can't tell. It looks good. I still don't even have Heuristic Studies in my deck. I'm an abomination. It's been on my buy list for forever, but I just don't play Commander enough to go get one. I'm playing Heuristic Study-less Mono Blue Merfolk. I think that it's stupid that Lord of the Rings is the only modern legal universes beyond. Well, only one so far, Jonathan Grimm. Only one so far. Oh wait, Anna with Siphon Mind, getting back on topic. Black 3 generic sorcery. Each other player discards a card. You draw a card for each card discarded this way. That's pretty sick. Imagine this in a 10-player game. You just draw 10 cards. Each other player discards a card. Oh no, but you only if they actually discarded a card. I should play Stasis. I can't use Stasis in my deck. It's not gonna work. I'll just screw myself over. Okay, do we have more super chat? We have more super chats. I'm losing. I'm being stupid here. Do we do Siphon? We just did so. Did I screw someone's super chat? Okay, we have Nalia with the super chat. Siphon Mind. Siphon Mind is a card that will draw. Okay, moving on with the commentary. If everyone's empty-handed, you're not actually going to draw any cards off of this thing. When tempers run high, it's easy to lose your head. It's only 1 card. So what if you can double the cards they discard? Do you draw even double the cards? Whenever a player discards a card, discard even more cards instead? I don't know if such a card exists, though. Alright, moving on to Coffee and Buns. Lighthouse Chronologist. Oh, God. I used to play with this card. It just makes you too much of a target. Like, literally, when I play this card, I basically need to have 9 mana up. I need to have 2 mana, to cast it, and then I need 7 mana to level it up all the way to level 7. And you have anything less than that, everyone will just... It's like Lighthouse Chronologist points the lighthouse at you. This is like this beacon of light staring at you. All right, everyone at the Lighthouse Chronologist guy. You would be a fool to let them live for more than 1 second. Pacers fan forever. Seedborn Muse. Oh yeah. So this is the fair legal version of the Simic one. Green, 3 generic, 2/4. Untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. Oh, including artifacts. Including the artifacts. So you can constantly make mana from your, like, what's it called? Soul Ring. Pretty boring commentary there, but that's the only thing I could think of at the time. Larry with Ristic Study. We all know Ristic Study. Yeah, okay, I'm just... Moving on. Looks like AI art. Let me look. It does. It does. Who knows? Maybe it is. 2020? It's pretty close to AI territory. All the artists these days need to do is just plug in, like, you know, make this image, and then they can make an image based on that image. This is why a lot of AI art, it looks so screwed up, because they're also taking inspiration from stuff like this. At what point is the AI art going to take inspiration from other AI art, and then the and then the art's going to look super weird? Imagine asking an AI generator, make art of, I don't know, cat chasing a mouse based on AI, and make it look like it was AI generated. Okay, Whale of Darkness. Grave Pact. From Beyond the Grave. Black, for a one generic. Enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, each other player sacks a creature. Oh, that's a board wipe waiting to happen. It's just a matter of sacking your own board. Oh, the fly is back. Get out of here. Where's my fly swatter? It's fly swatting season. Okay, Jack Torborg says, it seems like this fits into every niche category, LMAO, but I have to recommend Spell Shift. You're just trying hard to squeeze this thing in no matter what. Nothing like a little casual chaos in a game of Commander. It's the first card I put into decks. I know. You build all your decks around Spell Shift. Blue 3 generic instant. Carry target instant or sorcery spell. Its controller reveals the top cards from the top of his or her library until they reveal an instant or sorcery card. The player may put the card. This actually has nothing to do with it. Sorry, disqualified. Squeezing in too hard here is not a multiplayer card whatsoever. All right, super chats. King Ginger, Archfiend of Despair. Torborg, you really try to explain to me how that's a multiplayer card. Black, 6 generic for a 6/6 demon. Flying. Your opponents can't gain life. The life gain ends right here. And at the beginning of... That's funny. I bet they priced it so high at 8 mana just because people love their life gain. Well, we can't disrupt the life gain players too much. So we're... gotta jack up that mana cost. At the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life that player lost this turn. Oh, God! Damage causes loss of life. I actually really appreciate that they reminded me of that, because that's not very intuitive. Not in my opinion. Martino! Oath of Mages. Red 1 generic enchantment. During each player's upkeep, if that player has less life than target opponent, he or she may have Oath of Mages deal 1 damage to that opponent. During each player's upkeep, if that player has less life than target opponent. So basically, if you don't have... He or she may have Oath of Mages deal 1 damage to that opponent. So basically, you can keep picking off the person who has the most life. And the more players at the table, the more they basically, you know... Death by 1,000 cuts, like the winning player, at least at the moment. Christopher, I was wondering where you were. Would you sleep in or something? Winds of Abandon. White 1 generic sorcery. Exile target creature you don't control. For each creature exiled this way, its controller searches their library for a basic land card. Those players put those cards onto the battlefield, tap, and shuffle their library. Oh my god, you can overload this. Exile everything. It's basically, Path to Exile has a baby with, I don't know, an overload spell. It's basically it. Any overload spell. The Seaborn Muse art is based on the headdress that Azusa wears. Alright. It's good to know. More super chats. We got... Hold on. Blatant... Did we do Blatant Thievery? No. Blatant Thievery. I gotta give you a super chat sound effect. Do I not notice Blatant Thievery? I like this card. It's a blue... It's because it's a blue card. For each opponent, gain control of target permanent that player controls. It's not even that expensive. It's 7 mana. It's a little awkward. But you swipe everything on the battlefield. Okay, I like this. Super fast tortoise. Path plus Cyclonic Rift. That's right. Love the name. Super fast. The ultimate race between the tortoise and the hare. Tortoise always won. Stupid cocky rabbit. David. Zevlor. These names are getting weird. El Terrell Exile. I mean, they're basically rolling dice with, like, letters, throwing it into a Yahtzee box, and then, like, whatever comes out, that's how they name these things. Okay, for Grixis 1 generic, we have a 4/2 Tiefling Warrior with haste. Pay 2, tap. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a single opponent or a single permanent opponent controls this turn, for each other opponent, choose that player or permanent they control, copy that spell, and the copy targets the chosen player or permanent. Love it. Basically, yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess a lot of people love copying the spells. Like, Wizards has just been on that for years now. Copy the spell this way, copy the spell that way. Who likes copying spells out there? I don't have time to copy spells. I just want to cast the spells that I already have. If you like variety, you play individual spells. You like the same thing over and over again, you copy your spells. Alright, we got Sean. Sean McCartney, you had something. Oh, I gotta go back, find out what Sean McCartney was all about. Some people still learn how to use this. Okay, I found you, Sean McCartney. What was your card? Fiery Justice. Okay, we got okay, we have white, green, red sorcery. Fiery Justice deals 5 damage, divided as you choose among any number of targets. Target opponent gains 5 life. Ah, yes, that's neat actually. Okay, so like 1-on-1, it would always be your opponent, like just the one opponent you have. But if you have like 3 opponents, you can choose the person who either needs the life. Oh, this card we can use several ways. So you could either give it to the person who just has an irrelevantly large amount of life, like they already have 500 life. Oh, here, have another 5 life. Like, what is that gonna do? What does that matter? While screwing over another person's creatures. Or if someone needs the life, it's like, oh, we got to keep this person in the game. You can give them the life while screwing over someone who's already at the threat. Very, very unique card. Limer with the hive mind. You people love your hive minds. Blue 5 generic enchantment. Whenever a player casts an instant sorcery spell, each other player copies that spell. Each of those players may choose new targets for his or her copy. That's a chaos card. That's just cause all sorts of stupid chaos. Group hug minus 1 person. Oh, what? Like, Fiery Justice? I guess so. My God, I have so many super chat. We got Redco here. The Eternal Wanderer. Eternally Wandering. White 4 generic for a 5 loyalty planeswalker. No more than 1 creature can attack the Eternal Wanderer each combat. Okay, +1. Exile up to 1 target artifact or creature. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of that player's next end step. Pay 0. Makes a 2/2 white samurai creature token with double strike and -4 for each player. Choose a creature. For each player, choose a creature that player controls. Each player sacrifices all creatures they control not chosen this way. So everything, choose one, you lose the rest. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a last person standing sort of deal. Bunch of commander players. There are a bunch of commander players here. There have been for like a year and a half. I think it's like we've done Coffee and MTG like this for basically a year. Dick says, I read an article where one of the card creators said that they put words into a translation app multiple times through different languages to make up names for characters. Oh, God. Whatever. It works. And it really looks like that's what they do. It makes perfect sense to me. Super fast tortoise. Okay, you have not bribery. Is that going to count? I know it's a very commander-esque card, but blue, 3 generic. Search target opponent's library for a creature card. Put it onto the battlefield under your control. Then that player shuffles his or her library. I don't really feel the multiplayer in this card. Yeah, I think it could be just as useful one-on-one. Target opponent. Yeah, and they always have to say target opponent because it can't say your opponent or all your opponent. Well, if they say all your opponents, then it would definitely be a multiplayer card. Ree! Or Ray? Heartwood. Storyteller. We got some sort of... I thought it was an ooze. It's a tree folk. Alright, it's a green, 1 generic, 2/3 tree folk. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, each of that a player's opponents may draw a card. What? Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, each of that player's opponents may draw a card. That is insane! That card looks busted. It's $1. This is the most undervalued. Am I missing something here? This is like the best Ristic study. I mean, I guess it's not... Okay, so with Ristic study, only you draw the cards. This card, everyone gets to draw the cards. And also it screws you if you're playing non-creature spells. But, I mean, I guess you just don't play your non-creature spells. Not everyone. Everyone except the person who just casts something. Group hug except you in particular. Each of that player's opponents. It's group hug except for the person casting spells already. What a wild card. We did Burgeoning, Stevie Lee. It was a great card. Okay, moving on to the super chats because I have... Okay, we're on the 4th quarter of Coffee and MTG. I gotta grind through them super chats. We did the Eternal Wanderer. Xavier back. Sauron. I feel like I'm saying sour. The Dark Lord. As commander free equals free _ value. Is that like a coding joke over there? Okay, we got Grixis 3 generic for a 7/6. Ward, sack a legendary artifact or a legendary creature. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, amass Orcs 1. Whenever an army you control deals combat damage to a player, the ring tempts you. Whenever the ring tempts you, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 4 cards. How is this multiplayer? I actually don't see the multiplayer in this at all. Can anyone make some random crap argument how Sauron is like a multiplayer card? I mean, it's a legendary creature, but that's not very multiplayer-esque to me. Whenever an opponent casts this... Oh, no, okay, we got the opponent part. All right, pass. Easy pass. Whenever an opponent... Yeah, more opponents, more orcs. We need more orcs. More fodder for the... Those orcs are really stupid. Do you see how those orcs were born in the movies? Disgusting. That wasn't very natural in my opinion. Jonathan Grimm. Literally opening my Fusion Gaming packages right now. Oh, thank you very much, Jonathan Grimm. I appreciate it. Fusion Game. Shout out to FusionGamingOnline.com. Can't get shout out enough. King Ginger. Teferi Master of Time. Oh god, blue 2 generic for 3 loyalty to Teferi. You may activate loyalty abilities to Teferi Master of Time on any player's turn anytime you could cast an instant. So is this card like literally broken in Commander? Did it have flash? No, it doesn't have flash. +1, draw a card, then discard a card. So you can do that 4 times. So you do that on your turn, so you just go straight to 7 loyalty. -3, target creature you don't control phases out. And -10, take 2 extra turns after this one. It's not a very exciting finisher. I mean, I guess it's good enough if you need the extra turns. No, you know what? I take it back. I could really use this card. How expensive is this? It's $5. I'm always in this situation where I can attack and kill one person, but like after that, I'm going to die. So I could attack, kill one person, and if that succeeds, I can ultimate, take 2 extra turns after this one, and then kill my other friends. That would work out. Everyone's like Slicer. It slices, it dices. Slicer hired muscle. Hired music. Sliver, Slicer. Hold on, this is really screwed up. Oh, this guy. Red 4 generic for a 3/4 robot. Looks like a transformer. Oh, it is a transformer. This looks like a custom Magic the Gathering card, in my opinion. Okay, it's a robot. More than meets the eye. You may cast this card converted for a red 3 mana. Double strike haste. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may have that player gain control of Slicer until end of turn. If you do, untap Slicer goaded and can't be sacrificed this turn. If you don't, convert it. Weird. I won't look at the converted side. I'll just assume it is good stuff. It makes julienne fries. It does. Among other things. Okay, we gotta cram through these things, or I'm screwed. Tasha's hideous laughter. Is this a multiplayer card? I never even knew. Blue 1 generic sorcery. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until that player has exiled cards with total mana value 20 or more. Is this good in CEDH? Now this is a card. I'm trying to think. Maybe we should have a show. Cards that are broken in, like, cards that are better. Cards that are great in CEDH but are worthless in, like casual Commander. They both start with a C, competitive. See, someone goes to a CEDH tournament. I thought this was a casual tournament. What's the C stand for? Because like in a casual event, like everyone is just gonna have like really expensive cards. And it would be completely useless. Tasha is not good in CEDH. Because I would imagine at least in CEDH, you know, the mana value is way lower. Like way lower compared to casual EDH. The card is broken with Umbree's Fear Manifest. I have no idea. Okay, oh god. Okay, John with the Beamtown Bullies. The gift that keeps on giving. Everyone keeps talking about, like, this is the card where you want to give people stuff. Vigilance Haste. Target opponent whose turn it is puts target non-legendary creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under their control. It gains haste. Goad it. At the beginning of the next end step, exile it. Any goad card. It's basically... You're like basically tempting people to attack other people. Station Disaster. Battle Bond lands. Oh! Like Morphic Pool. Oh yeah, okay. Thank you for giving me a suggestion. I think they should make more of these lands. They should also make it like a swamp island so you can fetch them out. I don't see the harm in that. It's not breaking the reserve list there. Morphic Pool enters the battlefield unless you have 2 or more other opponents. Fair card. Alright, we got Platonic Liquid. Did we do Knowledge Pool? We have not. Knowledge. Do you know what's better than knowledge? No, do you know what's better than a Lamborghini? Old knowledge. Okay, 6 mana for an artifact. Imprint. Enters the battlefield. Each player exiles the top 3 cards of their library. Whenever a player casts a spell from his or her hand, the player exiles it. If the player does, he or she may cast another non-land card exiled with Knowledge Pool without paying that card's mana cost. So basically, so you have some cards underneath it. You can cast any rubbish, anything, and you can cast another card from there without paying its mana cost. Ah, interesting. There's gotta be some way to break this thing. But everyone gets access to this card. Yo, little Ted. Track wound reflection. Tracks each opponent every turn. Really? Okay, 6 mana, enchantment. At the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life lost this turn. I swear we did something similar to this. Or maybe it was a creature that did the exact same damn thing. Pray for disenchant. What, on the knowledge pool? Or you need knowledge pool in the in the pool already. You can't cast it because it's going to go into the knowledge pool. Timber players do unite. Moving on, we got another Yo Little Ted. Tracks. Did you do it twice? Oh no, hold on. Oh, I thought these two are the same. They had the similar color. Okay, the big squig. Shared Fates. My favorite way to mess up a multiplayer game. And also a legacy game. So blue for generic enchantment. If a player would draw a card, that player removes the top card of an opponent's library from the game face down instead. Each player may look at and play cards he or she removed from the game with Shared Fate as though they were in his or her hand. I swear, these are the type of cards that force me to think when I don't want to think while playing Commander. Lord Tragodu de la Quinti. What on earth was your card? Okay, digging. I wonder what's the problem that you guys don't know how to give the card at the same time as the super chat. Okay, so I'm looking for your card, Lord. If you here we go. It makes Julian Fry, or maybe that's what you wanted to super chat. Okay, no, you have got something. Got Storm Cauldron. Okay, 5-mana artifact. Each player may play an additional land during each of his or her turns. Whenever a land is tapped for mana, return it to its owner's hand. Oh God, that sounds so frustrating. Top 10 Magic the Gathering cards. That just makes the game really annoying. Add extra mana, but also return land back to your hand. So like if you want to tap out for something, you'll get double the mana, but then you'll lose all your land drops. This is where burgeoning like comes into play. I guess you want to combo this with the burgeoning so you could replay Can you play as many stuff as you want with burgeoning? Can't remember. Oh no, your opponent needs to play lands for you to put lands in play, but it's still a combo. It's still a combo. Crab Tribe says, pool is broken with Lavinia. I'll take your word for it. King Ginger. Massacre Girl. Oh yeah, this one. Best when used in multiplayer. It gets well, it does get better. Okay, black 3 generic for a 4/4 menace. Enters the battlefield, each other creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Whenever a creature dies this turn, each creature other than Massacre Girl gets -1/-1 until end of turn. So it's a board wipe. It's honestly a board wipe. But honestly, it's like pretty fine in like one-on-one. I've seen this card just wipe tons of stuff out. I honestly don't see, it does get better in multiplayer. Not really multiplayer card though. Not necessarily. Blue Bomber, the Blade. I'm running out of super chat sound effects here. What am I going to give you? Blade of Selves. I'm gonna just start using random sound effects for you guys. 2 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature has Myriad. Whenever it imagine that. Look at this short little mechanic name and this big explanation. Whenever it attacks for each opponent other than defending player, you may create a token that's a copy of that creature that's tapped and attacking. That player or planeswalker they control exile the token. All right. You attack with one. You attack with many. Rot Boy with the $10. I have 2. All right, for $10, I'll give you 2. Share of Spoils. And I have, whoops, share the spoils. We got red, and I'll get to the next one. Red 1 generic enchantment. When Share the Spoils enters the battlefield or an opponent loses the game, exile the top card of each player's library. I like that. As players lose the game, we start pillaging We should take from their library. We should divide out the library of the losing player. That would actually make more flavor sense. Imagine somebody loses, you divide out their cards, like, I don't know, in Exile, and you can play them during the game. That would be pretty sick. Although it'd probably peeve off the person who really wanted to go home. Anyway, during each player's turn, that player may play a land or cast a spell from among cards exiled will share the spoils, and they may spend mana, as though or any mana, to cast that spell. When they do, exile the top card of their library. Cool card. The super anti, yeah, you bet your whole deck. The whole deck! What did Dem say? Blade of Selves with Avenge of Zendikar and Atali, just noticed. I guess that's a combo. And what else did you have, Rot Boy? You had Illicit Auction. All the auction cards are very multiplayer-centric. Red, 3 generic sorcery. Choose target creature. Each player may bid life for control of that creature. You begin the bidding at 0. Proceeding in turn order, each player may top the high bid. The auction ends when the high bid stands. The high bidder loses life equal to the high bid and gains control of that creature. Reminds me of Monopoly. When you don't want to buy the property, then it goes out to auction. Not a good strategy. Got to buy everything that you land on. Keep all your creatures too. Pacers fan forever. I'm gonna give you a random super chat. Waste not. Sorry, random sound effect. Oh yeah, okay, so this actually can be, this card does look better in multiplayer. We got a black enchantment. Whenever an opponent discards a creature card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Whenever cards a land card, add double black to your mana pool. That's awkward though. Oh no, maybe not. So you have to get them to discard the card on your turn. And whenever an opponent discards a non-creature, non-land card, draw a card. That's actually pretty sweet. What's it? Discards a non-creature, non-land card. So basically, enchantment, planeswalker, act. And you get some sweet stuff. Nalia. What am I gonna give you? I'll give you this. Sower of Discord. I'm running out of sound effects here, people. I'm running out of sound effects. We've got a black 4 generic for a 6/6 demon. As flying as Sower of Discord enters the battlefield, choose 2 players. Whenever damage is dealt to one of the chosen players, the other chosen player also loses that much life. Oh my god. This is wild. Here's the battlefield, choose 2 players. So if one person gets hit, they both get hit. Wouldn't they just both gang up on you super bad? Choose 2 players. I guess you could, or you could choose yourself? You could choose yourself with somebody else? Like, I guess someone strong? What is the point of this card? It's just a 6/6 flyer. Whenever damage is dealt to one of the chosen players, the other player also loses that much life. This is going to confuse the table. I would assume you're the target? I assume. Alright. I believe it. Alright, we got next super chat. Nemesis, living death. Makes things interesting late game. Black 3 generic. Sorcery. Each player exiles all creature cards from their graveyards. Then sacks all creatures they control, put all the cards they exile this way onto the battlefield. It's Living End! It's literally Living End. It's the commander version of Living End. You don't have to suspend the card. Yeah, each player. That's right. Alright, Station Disaster with Agent of Masks. And it's a black, 3 generic, 2/3 human advisor. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 1 life. You gain life equal to life lost this way. Each opponent, yeah. So it's like, okay, we started the show off with life gain and life loss, and we're ending the show on life gain and life loss. Oh my god, I can't stop the show. We still have more of these damn super chats. The super chats keep going. Off topic, can you use Mindslaver to attack the opponent whose monster you take control of? Can you use Mindslaver to attack the opponent Oh no, because you can't attack. So you don't take control of their creatures. You take control of the player. So you actually cannot attack yourself. So in that sense, you can only attack other. Basically, it's like a big goading card. You send in their creatures and attack everyone else other than you. But you can't attack. You can never attack yourself. You can't legally do that. Great question though. Blue Bomber. Tivit, Seller of Secrets. We did that one, didn't we? The Seller of Secrets. Pretty much any annoying voting card that cares about the number of votes and not the majority. Yeah, that's right. 2 extra votes for Tivit. No extra votes for everybody else. While voting, you may have an additional vote. How can I vote an extra time, please? Palpatine loves democracy. Absolutely loves democracy. Sean McCartney! What's your card, though? I swear you're doing this again! You're making me dig for your super chats. Or you just wanted to give me some money for nothing. I mean, I'll take it. I assume you have a card, though. Okay, I will look for it if you post something. Station Disaster. Astral Confrontation. Okay, we got White 4 generic. Instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each opponent you're attacking. Oh! So if you attack 3 players, it only costs... That sucks, actually. I mean, okay, this is definitely a multiplayer card, but, like, why don't they just reduce it to 1? It could easily just be 4 mana. I guess... Okay, so I guess if you're playing with, like, 5 or more people, you can reduce it to 1. But, I mean, imagine... It comes from a commander set. You know, 2 mana, exile a creature. That's fair, but I think even more fair is just, like, 1 mana. And that's that. Tetra Tim Bowman says, Mind Slaver them with enough mana to cast Mage's Contest and then make them cast a spell which you Mage's Contest you pick for them to pay 20 quadrillion life. Okay. Yes, that's how you do it. King Ginger also with the super chats. Ruhan of the... I read Ferrari. But it's the Fomori. Okay, blue, white, red, 1 generic, 7/7 giant warrior. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose an opponent at random. Ruhan the Fomori attacks that player this combat if able. You can't blame me. Look, I wasn't trying to target you, all right? This is the Two-Face method. Two-Face always flipped a coin. Where's Two-Face? We need to find Two-Face here. Where's Two-Face and his coin? There we go. Do we see Two? Does anyone know Batman? No, I'm talking. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. He flipped a coin to decide if you're going to live or die, or decide on his decisions. So basically, this is how Ruhan is working. Look, I'm just gonna roll the dice. Damn it! It's not my fault. Don't blame me. Blame the dice. If they're loaded, I mean, well, then they're loaded. Okay, Zach. This show is just going to go on for forever. My commander, Hinata. The show ends when the super chat ends. All right, we got a white, red, blue, 1 generic for a 4/4 flying trampling Kieran Spirit. Looks like a flying goat in some sort of dream. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each target. Oh, that's neat. And spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast for each target. It's basically the anti... I don't really know how to describe this. I really have absolutely no idea how to describe this type of card. I'm assuming, I guess this taxes some Storm players, sort of. Not that you're going to hit a whole lot of stuff. You're going to be late for your day job. I know! My day job this is my day job. This is what I do during the day. It's just horribly extended. Okay, well now we have Cabal, Station Disaster with the Cabal card. Cabal Paladin. Alright, what does this card do? We got a black 3 generic human knight. Whenever you cast a historic spell, what is that? Artifact, legendary, saga or something like artifact, legendaries, and sagas are historic. Yeah. Cabal Paladin deals 2 damage to each opponent. That card's broken. The Demon Lord has ruled every age. The hell does that? Oh, every age is like every, in terms of timeline. Every ruin, myth, and nightmare proves his power. Platonic Liquid. Thanks so much for the super chat. Oh, +1 Bulky Hiyashami's suggestion. What the hell was that? Okay, what is Bulky? What's Bulky's thing? I'm gonna look up Bulky. The Cruel Entertainment. Mindslaver for multiplayer. Ah, alright, so we have a black 6 generic sorcery. Choose target player and another target player. The first player controls the second player during the second player's next turn, and the second player controls the first player during the first player's next turn. Can't they like just, but can they have like a truce? Like, hey, don't F with me, I don't F with you. Or I don't know, I guess you would always choose players that don't have that, motivation, those incentives. Just screw with people. Really cool multiplayer card. Now that's a card built for multiplayer. If anything, that's going to be, that should be the thumbnail of the show. Tetra Tim Bowman! Wilderness Reclamation. Even better with Leyline of Anticipation. Your turn is almost my turn. It's like an artificial... Seedborn? Not Seedborn Muse. What was that other one? The Simic one. I don't remember this card. It's not a Modern or Legacy card. Okay, we got a green 3 generic enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, untap all... No, it's only your end step. At the beginning of your end step, untap all lands you control. So this is not really a multiplayer card, right? Even better with Leyline of Anticipation. Your turn is almost my turn. Yeah, it's only one turn though. It is a good well, it's a good one-on-one card too. Sorry, Tetra Tim Bowman. It is disqualified. It's good multiplayer, but it's not really a multiplayer-centric card. If it was if it was untap all lands you control at every end step, it definitely would be. Zach, last one I promise. Crackle with Power. Hey, look, I'm not complaining. People are paying for this show to keep going on. Okay, we got a red XXX sorcery. Find X, solve for X. Crackle with Power deals 5 times X damage to each of up to X targets. But like, how much mana do you have to sink into this thing? So you pay 3 just to get 5 damage. You can pay 6 to get 10 damage out of this. I guess that works. Let's take, you know what? We're getting so many of these damn super chats. Let's take a freebie in the middle of it. We can take something from David. Pramicon. We did Pramicon. Yeah, we did Pramicon. It was a great one. Almost, yeah, everything must be multi. Can you choose to resign as that player? You cannot, weirdly enough. So if you Mindslaver someone, you cannot make them resign. Strangely. You can do everything else, but not resign. The EDH players are trying to take control. Okay, is this the last super chat? I think it is. Corpse Knight. I'm surprised not many people mentioned extort cards, even though I did mention one. We got a black, white, 2/2 Zombie Knight. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. Is it? Oh, it's only creatures. That don't have to be zombies. Sometimes these zombie cards are like very specific. You name zombies. The zombies have to trigger the stuff, but it's in this case, it's any creature. All right, that's it. We have actually a special shout out today. Oh, we have Profit Accrue Fix. We did that one. That's what I was thinking of though. Like, that's the true multiplayer card. Untap all creatures and lands you control during each other player's untap step. It's a superior Wilderness Reclamation. It's also banned in Commander for that reason. Okay, we have a special shout out for Metause, who built a beginner CEDH Meta Buster Tasigur deck. It's featured on CEDH Budget Brews. I'll have a link pinned in the comments for this. He wanted to show off his Tasigur deck. I don't usually do stuff like this, but I'm making an exception today for meta use. So if you're looking for a budget Tasigur meta buster, I don't know how you meta bust in CEDH. I mean, I guess there's a meta game. In casual Commander, there is not. You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. And of course, if you want to be part of the stream, you got to be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. And of course, thanks everyone for supporting the channel, both as members, patrons, and also people who support the channel through the super chats, making suggestions for the show. But of course, we got to thank everyone who's here for the show, even if they don't pay for anything. People like Platonic Liquid, we got Slavin, we got Jesus, Erlin, Toads, Nemesis, Rotboy, Station Disaster, Bulky. We got David Sampson, Steve Cooper, Zanzi, Christopher B. Coulter, Toads. Oh, Lord Magicus has been here the entire time. King Ginger, Crab, Tribe. Because as usual, my coffee crew, you guys are the show. So as always, keep bringing up them coffees, and we will keep bringing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you